Hey everybody, it's me Travis back with Magic Cave, and we'll be playing a little deck here. I've seen a couple ideas with it floating around for the last little bit. I just recently got almost enough stuff to kind of play it right. It works pretty well. It's a really fun deck to play with. Um, Here's the deck right here. Ideally, you would have more copies of just about everything, but if you're like me and you don't pump money into this game or anything like that, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of nothing right now. Um, just having what you got is you try to get it to work. Um, so that's my Pete and repeat deck. The reason we call it that is because of Offspring's Revenge. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, exile a target red, white, or black creature card from your graveyard and create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 1/1, and it gains haste until your next turn. So all of these kind of cards benefit from that happening. I've actually seen a lot of variations with this. Some people running a Dracuseth. Um, they end up making a 1/1 token of it, and when he attacks, he does all this damage, which is great. I've honestly thought about pumping him in here. I've thought about taking out the Ruinous Ultimatums and putting those in, because there's no easy way to cast these a lot of the time. When you can, it's great, but a lot of times it's not easy. Um, Got the typical kind of like death effect creatures like Serrated Scorpion, Goblin Arsonist, and Footlight Fiend. When these creatures die, they all do something. Um, and if you were to have Offspring's Revenge out, you bring up another one that's a token of it, does the same effect. It's really, you get really great returns with these. Fling is also in the deck, and Fling is really not for any of these. It's more for our guy Krinko here. I've got 4 copies of him in here, just because, you know, I'm a goblin fiend, so I gotta have a ton of goblins anyway. So I had 4 copies of him laying around. Um, Ideally, what you try to do is get Kingpin right here as huge as you can. Worst case scenario, you can fling him at somebody. Dreadhorde Butcher, again, like all these cards would be great if you had like 4 copies of these. Embodiment of Agonies, this is a great card to have out before you actually start doing your Offspring's Revenge, because he gets a counter for every different mana cost that's in your graveyard. Kaya, she's just great for any kind of like small removal. Exiling some other cards from your graveyard. I mean, you're going to be killing a lot of stuff. Uh, be with like your damage from one of these, or with Judith, you're going to be doing damage to specific tokens, or you know, when anything, any creatures that anybody has out. You have some removal in the form of like Bedevil and Deafening Clarion. Usually, you want to try to stay away from that whenever you have your creatures out. Justice Strike is good too. For any of those big creatures that you don't have an answer for, you could add some other kind of basic black removal if you wanted to. Again, there's so many variations on this deck. Um, Teysa, she's on here. Anytime a creature dying causes an effect, it triggers twice. That's great for a lot of this stuff where they die. Also, whenever they become a token from Offspring's Revenge, they get a benefit of having Vigilance and Lifelink, which ends up working out really great because you have a ton of tokens that you're going to be fooling with. I stuck Mythos of Snapdax in here. I'm kind of thinking about removing it. It's good when you've got the mana for it. A lot of the time, though, um, if somebody has a ton of creatures, or if they're playing like an artifact deck, you'll end up having to pick a creature and an artifact, so they could end up with like 2 creatures. Or if they're playing like a Theros heavy deck, um, a creature and an enchantment could be some kind of deal going on, so you end up leaving them with more than what you actually want. Um, Carnival and Carnage is just another great red and black card. Um, I have some ultimatums to clear the board, but it's pretty hard to cast. I've been thinking about removing that too and replacing it with Dracuseth, but we'll see how it goes. Um, I actually have 7 plains and 7 swamps in here. For some reason, it's not showing the number. 6 mountains, um, some uh, shocklands, fabled passages, you know, the standard kind of stuff. So I'm going to play with this deck real quick and show you how it plays. Um, it's like I said, it's really fun. Offspring's Revenge was a it wasn't really picked a lot um, whenever Ikoria came out. Um, it was at best very situational, but if you kind of build around it, it's really fun. It's kind of like an enchantment version of Nightmare Shepherd, who does kind of the same thing. Um, It's just the enchantment is a little harder to get rid of. If you do have Nightmare Shepherds, you can use those. They do the same kind of effect. Um, but for me, I had a lot more Offspring's Revenge. I actually pulled a lot out of my boosters. So we only have one color here, but luckily we can. It's iffy. It's iffy. We might draw into our other mana, but we're gonna go ahead and mulligan. Okay, that's a little bit better. We'll actually probably drop a mountain here, and we're gonna try to hold on to that Offspring's Revenge. Jude's good. Arsonist is good. So we got like a turn 1, turn 3, turn 5. Ugh. Oh, great. Mono red. Let's see. I feel a shock coming. I can feel it. But if they shock, they got to remember that this little guy can take out that Scorch Spitter too. They probably got another one. We'll go ahead and take it. Let's take the little one. We'll see what's happening. Because anytime he dies, we can always just kill that. I'm sure he's probably got another one in his hand. And look at that, we got another. Let's go ahead and drop him. Leave it tapped. We don't need to lose the life for that because we don't have enough mana to play anything anyway. So let's go ahead and play another Arsonist. This is also a very fun card to play in Historic too. There's a lot more when a creature dies effects present in Historic. So if you want to fiddle around with that, I would love to see some like deck ideas that use Offspring's Revenge and kind of pump like Historic stuff into it. Because I mean, there's just so much that you can use with it. Like, I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that this is just like an amazing card and it has to be, you know, it's a fun little card to play around with. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like me that love playing around with just random cards that usually don't see a whole lot of attention. Okay, so we got an ultimatum and we have no white. No white whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and drop Judith. And we'll attack with one Arsonist. Oh no, they're not going to block it. They want to keep that Spitter alive as long as they can, because the Spitfire gets nuts with non-combat damage. So now that shock I was feeling earlier might be visiting Judith here. Oh, Act of Treason. Nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's nice. They get a proc with Judith as well. And I might take out my Arsonist with that. Which is fine. Let's see if they are. That's 1, 2. Not quite enough to take out that, so we might as well just make it go towards them. Okay, now this is going to be a fun little thing to have. I'm going to hold on to that. Let's go ahead and attack with Judith. Hopefully they'll hit us with like a little bit of shock. Yeah, I know it's weird I'm asking for a little damage. Me at 10 health, but... Oh, wait a minute. I don't even have a white to play this. Why am I getting all excited? I need to pay attention to my mana. So now what we really need is a lot more white. I mean, I would kill for at least 3 more white mana. And of course, we get another black. So this isn't going great. We'll probably scoop soon. Next turn, if I don't get a white mana, we'll hop out and go to another game. I know you got some instant damage in that hand. You don't have to play it off like you don't. I know you do. Yep. Very nice. Very nice. Well, it was good because we didn't have to scoop out of the game. They took care of that for us. So this is one of those instances where the deck just doesn't work. It happens to every deck. Just don't get discouraged. If you end up making a variation of this deck, I mean, you're gonna you're gonna get fraught with like a lot of backlash from a lot of stuff. Oh, I wonder if this guy's playing Demir or not. Alright, so now we got one of every color. Beautiful. Got a Clarion for a little board wipe and a Butcher. Nice, this is beautiful. We get another white mana, and that Mythos is looking real good. Now, I'm not going to complain about having an Arsonist in my hand from the get-go, but I really love to start these games out with like a Serrated Scorpion. For me, that's like a super strong start. We're going to go ahead and play him. If we can get out in front of them and do a little bit of damage with the Butcher, whenever they... Oh, wow, interesting. Whenever they inevitably shatter the sky. Oh, okay, good game, guy. See, yeah, people don't want to fool around. Whenever the deck really works, it really works. You can see stuff was going to happen. I can feel it. Let's try one more quick game here. Because I actually want to show off the deck whenever it actually works, so... So as a lot of you know, the season just wrapped up and a new one just started. A lot of you are probably playing ranked right now. I myself, I'm not too crazy about ranked. It's okay. It's very repetitive to me because you'll get to a point of where all you see is the same 4 decks over and over. I've talked about it before. So for me, I love playing just regular unranked against whatever decks, you know, because you get to see a lot of different decks whenever you're playing that way. Well, I say that, but of course I'm playing against a Growth Spiral deck. So I'll probably see an Explosion at some point, an Uro, we'll see him probably next turn, but I don't know, I could be wrong. Let's just see what happens. Nice Triumph, very nice. Oh, wow. Let's go ahead and drop Krinko. Red, white, and blue. Green, 4-color. Oh, is it Teamer? Is there a Reclamation heading our way? Well, very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and grab another white. It might be a bad move just because we had so much trouble getting white last time. I want to go ahead and grab as much white as I can. And go ahead and play a black here. And let's drop the Arsonist too. That way if they want to do something funny, we can kill a little creature. Oh, Thousand Year Storm. This is an interesting little deck here. Very interesting. Go ahead and drop that other white. So, Hmm. Instead of playing Krinko, I'm going to do Carnage. I'm going to get rid of those 2 cards that they got in their hand. Really? Wow. That's bizarre. Let's go ahead and attack. They don't have a handful of nothing. I'll go ahead and block, and we'll go ahead and kill that little guy off. Another 1,000-year storm. Alright, so now we're sitting pretty good. We can go ahead and drop Krinko, or we could pop out an Offspring's Revenge, but we've only got 1 creature out in the graveyard as it is. You get benefits of Offspring's Revenge, like as soon as you play it. On combat before that turn, you get another token and it gets hastes and all that. So we'll just wait. And looks like they're just drawing straight up lands. Let's go ahead and have the Revenge out and waiting. That way, in case they wipe us or manage to top deck something nice. We'll go ahead and get that damage stacked up. I'd really love to get a Judith right now. She would, and they're done. So as you can see, the deck it'll play a little bit. You have to work with it sometimes. Like I said before, I've really been considering getting rid of the Ruinous Ultimatums. They're way too hard to cast. If you had maybe more fetch lands, if you had shock lands, maybe it would be easier for you to cast. I mean, I only have 1 copy of what I've got, because I'm one of those guys that doesn't waste his wild cards on shock lands. I say that, but really they're probably one of the best uses of your wild cards. But yeah, give this deck a shot and see if you like it. If you have any other kind of like variations, or again, if you have some kind of like deck workaround with Historic using Offspring's Revenge, definitely comment it below, or send me a link to like the deck list or something, because like there's so much shenanigans that you can do with Offspring's Revenge. It's a super fun card to play, especially when you got other stuff to complement it. So if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like our kind of content, hit the little notification bell and you'll get notified every time we make a video and post it. We've been delving into the world of Twitch for a little bit. Going to see if we can get that up and running. But we're not going to forget about YouTube. This is our main source of getting info to you guys. Again, we have like an Instagram, we have a Twitter, we have everything. It's all the Magic Cave, Kentucky. We'll have a little slide here that'll show you all of our info. So basically that's it. So hope you guys have fun. Don't get too entrenched in ranked. It's not too important. Just have fun. And I'm Travis, and I'll see you later.